Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Wordy, my hub for all of the words that I'm reading, writing, or otherwise yapping about. Today, I have a very special author guest for you guys. They are the indie co-author duo of Mafia, Motorcycle Club, and other romance series that are sure to keep you turning pages. Their latest release, Bullet, is the fifth book in their Lotus MC series, and their upcoming book, Wolf Songbird, is the second book in their Mountain River MC series. Please welcome Cala Riley, better known as Cala and Riley, to the show. You guys, I am so excited that you are here.
Thank you for
Thanks.
having us. We're excited to be here.
What she said.
I have never interviewed a co-author duo, so this is a first for me. I'm really honored, really excited. I want to go ahead and kick off the episode because now that there's three of us and not just two of us, our conversation might go on for a little longer. So let's just go straight into what we are reading, watching, and listening to. I will kick us off. Reading wise, I tried to finish Good Spirits by BK Borison in time for my book club, and I didn't. And luckily, the discussion was very non-spoilery, and it makes me want to finish it immediately. So I am continuing to read that right now, which is interesting because I'm not much of a holiday reader, but I would like to. This is the exception to the rule for me. I'm really enjoying it. What about you guys?
Well, currently I am on an Omega verse kick. I last night read one, what was it? It was like she was part of a band and they were the security. It had potential. It was pretty good. Like it sucked me in for a while. I don't remember the name of it. I'd have to look it up.
I can dig it. I love a band romance.
I am not reading anything right now because when we are on deadline, I do not read books. Otherwise, I'd want to read instead of whatever we're supposed to be doing. So I am right now, like in the evenings, I'm watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, which sounds silly, with my husband. And I crochet. So like I let him watch his little cartoons and I crochet.
Okay, so you started talking about what you've been watching. Also, congrats on deadline because obviously that means that
Yeah.
you've got stuff coming up. When is y'all's
Yes.
deadline?
This,
Technically it was last Friday, but we pushed it out a couple days.
okay. Let me clarify here. It's actually not due until next Monday, but we always, so this one's for trad. And so they'll give us a date, but we pick a date for ourselves to hold ourselves accountable. That's usually 2 weeks in advance. So that way our betas have plenty of time to read it and stuff like that. And we're behind on our personal deadline, not the actual deadline.
Okay, that makes sense. But good
We,
for
we
y'all
we
for
both
giving you
had
that
some
like,
stuff pop up last week. So we were like, well, Tuesday it is.
yep, exactly.
Last week
Yeah.
was just a continuous Monday, if that makes sense.
I've had weeks like that. I think it's like the month of December, like any kind of work, whether it's authoring, day job, side hustle, it doesn't matter. Working in December as an adult is like being a senior in high school in May. It's
Yes.
just
Hmm.
awful. It drags on for ages.
Which is why we usually don't work in December, but we had
Yeah.
this trad book that we have to finish. So we're like, well,
I mean, that's a good excuse. I mean, good for y'all. So you touched on watching wise. Riley, what about you? What have you been watching?
Oh gosh. So I have a 12-year-old daughter and she is going through early 2000s, 90s movies. And so like this weekend we watched John Tucker Must Die, 10 Things I Hate About You. Um, we watched Clueless last night. So we've been doing that in our house. My husband and my son definitely get props for just biting their tongue and going with it. They're like, we're on a chick flick thing, I guess.
Good for her, though. Honestly, a woman of taste. 10 Things I Hate About You is in like the pantheon of movies for me.
That's like her comfort movie.
Yeah.
So
Love that
she
movie.
did good. And she's like, Heath Ledger. And I'm like, yeah, too bad he's dead.
I know.
I'm pretty sure I crushed her little heart when I said that.
Oh, because she probably didn't know. Yeah.
No.
The fun part is saying, hey, this guy, like, apart from the fact that he's dead, it's like this guy is also this guy, and then you show like the Dark Knight Joker.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go through his backlist after this.
He's got
Exactly.
range.
Yeah.
The range is insane. Yes. Watching wise for me, I am unfortunately the target audience for trashy reality TV. So I watched the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives reunion, and it gave us nothing at all. I have such a bone to pick with it, but because of all the drama from the season, that brought in like some of the characters and the people from Vanderpump Villa. I've started Vanderpump Villa. Um, and I don't know. I'm also like going back to Vanderpump Rules, and I'm like, I don't know which one I like more yet.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out which one I want to like long term continue with first. I don't know if I want to start with the new and then go back to the old, or start, chronologically, if you will. Yeah, trash reality TV while I wait for the next volume of Stranger Things season 5. I'm a massive Stranger Things nerd, and yeah, that first volume was really good, but I'm scared for the next part. And then listening wise, whether that's music or other podcasts or whatever else you listen to, what have you guys been listening to? Calla, I'll start with you.
So I listen to music all the time. I listen to a lot of country music, but if you look at my playlist, like I have like hip hop. I've got a song from like the 60s. My husband's like, seriously, this one? I'm like, I love the song. So like I literally listen to a little bit of everything. So mostly music. I also have been when I don't feel like watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, I'll put my headphones on and sometimes I watch those little reel shorts that pop up on Facebook every like couple weeks I'll subscribe for a week and just like binge those trashy ones. So you watch your trashy reality TV, I watch the trashy real shorts.
The episodic ones that like if you like you
Yes,
can't
yes. But
fast forward them, and if you slide away it starts over, so you have to stay.
yes, when you watch it on the ads, but if you download the app, so a lot of them will let you watch like the first like 10 episodes for free, but I'll subscribe for a week and then I will literally just binge and I'm not even watching them, I'm just listening to them because I'm
Yeah.
crocheting. That's my other guilty pleasure. I don't even know if you knew I did that, Jonica.
No, I was with you when you it was in Scotland. You were telling me about it. You were like,
Oh.
"Yeah, I told James that I was doing it." And he was like, "Yeah, and how much was that again for, that time frame?" And you were like, "It's fine. We're just not going to
He
talk about it."
he's bought Pokeballs, okay, for his Pokemon Go, so I can buy a week subscription
Her
for
husband
this.
went to Scotland with us, and they're having this whole topic or like discussion about it at dinner, and I'm like, "Okay, third wheel over here. This is awkward." It's great though. It made me laugh.
Yeah. What about you? What have you been listening to?
So I just got my YouTube recap, music recap. And this year, the most I listened to was Noah Khan, the new Taylor Swift album, a guy named Knox, and Panic at the Disco, which they are all very different. So do with that as you will.
Um, Big time relate to Panic at the Disco. I will say I haven't looked at my Apple Music replay yet. I want to do like a whole digestive episode, like a solo episode on my replay, because I know it's going to be not controversial, but like embarrassing probably. Because writing playlists, the music that you listen to on loop, yeah, it's going to be pretty telling. But Panic at the Disco, I wanted to go to I think it was the When We Were Young festival that they did all of A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. So
Yeah.
like, were you listening to like old Panic, like OG Panic, or are we talking
Yes.
everything Panic?
Mainly old OG. So we did a lot of international travel this year. And so I did like a we'll just say like 2009 through 12 time frame playlist with a bunch of other random stuff thrown in. And it was like them and My Chemical Romance and Papa Roach and like I was a concert kid. So it was very much that just to listen to break up the other stuff that I had saved. Yeah,
I
I
like
just
it.
kept replaying it.
Yeah. No, Panic is so good. The new stuff, I really can't speak on. No hate to any of them, but the old stuff, I just, especially like around Halloween time, A Fever You Can't
Hmm.
Sweat Out and Pretty Odd and Vices and Virtues in particular, I'm just like, I'm sad. Um, Listening wise, because I'm scared to look at my Apple Replay, especially because if the Glee cast makes my top five artists this year, it will be a decade of them being in my top five artists, which is embarrassing because 10 years ago the show ended. Like it's not like the show was running, but they just stay. If that doesn't tell you enough about my personal brand, but
That's okay.
um, I have been listening to a podcast. So I also do like obviously like I manage my own social medias for like my author brand for podcasting. My day job I work as a social media manager. So I've been listening to um a podcast slash a YouTube channel called By Kaylee. She's in the UK. I think she's in London. Um, but she gives like the coolest advice about like how to really like enhance and elevate like your personal brand, how to make social media management fun. But she does it in the style. She has like a signature series right now where she gives you these lessons in the style of like different Taylor albums. And so she's been going in order. I think this Friday she releases the Midnights video. So I've been playing catch up with all of her videos, and it's just like addicting. They're like 20 minutes long or so, 20 to 30 minutes, and I'll knock out half an hour taking notes when work is slow. And I don't know, it makes me feel inspired. It's nice to hear other people talk besides me.
Mhm.
So can't recommend her enough. Whether you guys are into all that or if any of our listeners would be interested in gaining some knowledge about conquering social media because social media is such a monster, and I feel like we all get lost in the sauce of like I have to appease the algorithm. No,
Mhm.
you don't. You're the niche. Do what you want. Um, yeah, so that's what we've been reading, watching, and listening to. Now, let's get into the actual meat of the episode. Let's talk a little bit about you guys. So, obviously, like you're a co-author duo, but you don't live close by. I mean, kind of, but also not. Um, how did the two of you get connected and decide that you wanted to co-author books together?
We just kind of happened into each other. I definitely actually probably wouldn't recommend people choosing a writing partner the
No.
way we did. We just got extremely lucky, but we actually used to work on a book blog together. And so there was some drama going on with one of the other girls on the blog. So we kind of just slid into each other's DMs like, do you see what's going on over here? Like, do you know what's going on? And so that's how we kind of struck up a friendship, like actually talking. Because we were just reviewing, but we had never even talked before. And then from there, I was just like, hey, I have this idea for a book and I kind of really like to write it, but like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, would you read it? And she's like, yeah, just write it down. So I did. I wrote everything I possibly could down in a document and sent it over. It was like 80,000 words. I sent it over to her and I was like, hey, here, figure out. I don't know what we're doing. And so she was like, can I make some like small, like just edits? And she ended up like rewriting parts of it. And she was like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, now you're stuck with me. Now you're doing this thing with me. So
Then we threw that book on the back burner. Like that one's still not released. And she was like, what if we write Mafia? And so we wrote that. And being book bloggers, like at the time, we knew the steps you're supposed to take. You know, you do the edits, you have the cover, you send out arcs, you do this, you do that, right? And so my mind starts going on all those things. And we already had a cover and everything. And she comes to me one day and she's like, hey, I put it up on Amazon. It's live. And I was like, wait, what? No arcs, no nothing. Oh my gosh, we're raw dogging this. And that's how the first book went. And then afterwards, we found our footing. But yeah, that first one, it was a little bit chaotic. And I think that very
but
much
it turned
spoke
out
to us.
well. It turned out well. So, but yeah, so that's how we got together. I was gonna add something and I don't remember what it was now. It'll come back to me.
That's okay. When it comes back, you just wave me down and we can return to it. So it sounds like there's like a little bit of magic, but also a little bit of chaos into how you guys write. It seems like Riley, you have the more like editorial eye, maybe, although maybe it switches back and forth. What is y'all's process of like dividing tasks, chapters, like authoring, editing responsibility? How does that work for you guys?
No, for sure, she is the editor. I'm more because when I go back to edit, I literally change things, so I cannot be the editor. So for us, so when we started, we were very much chaos, just whoever had the idea, write as much as possible, switch off, and that's how we did it. But now we actually outline. So we'll say, but we don't stick to the outline all the time. I'm just
Mm.
saying that in case there's any aspiring writers listening, you don't have to stick to your outline. So we basically just say, hey, I think this should happen in this chapter. This should happen in this chapter. We do two dual point of views in each chapter. So chapter one will have hers and his. And then we just separate. So, like this book, I might do all the odd chapters and she does all the evens. But the way we do it is then I'll go back to her even chapters and I'll add my own stuff in. So she touches every line, I touch every line, and that's why you can't tell there's two people.
Exactly. And so, like, when we're outlining, say she'll outline like the first three and she'll come and be like, I don't know what I want to happen next. And then I'll go in and I'll add. And obviously, I'll add to her three chapters that she did before. She'll go and add to mine, and we'll just hip hop back and forth until the outline is complete. And then we'll start writing. And then once it's done, she moves on to the next book, and I'll go through and I'll do all the beta notes and everything else. And I'm the one who deals with the editor and all their critiques and the proofreaders while she's trucking along on whatever's next. Usually she's a little bit ahead of me in the next book.
But it works out for us because then it helps her too, because she can read what I've written and then like pop in her chapters and it helps keep us on track. So there's a lot of trust in it because we make changes to each other and we don't track changes. So a lot of people, when they write in duos, they track changes because they want to see what the other person's changing. We do not track changes. We don't do any of that. We just fully trust each other that whatever change you made, it was necessary.
I think
Fun
it
fact, people will
helps.
ask us, they will ask us who wrote this part, and we'll be like, was that you? I don't even remember. So,
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it helps where we've never done it differently. We've been together and writing the entire time. So we didn't have an ego going in. And so we don't have one now when it comes to the other person.
Yeah. Because I feel like with authoring duos, that is something that I don't want to say it's a threat, but it's like it's a lingering con of going into it because if one, like the minute one of you is like slightly imbalanced, it's obvious to both you guys and potentially your readership too. So, I really admire that about you guys. Way to go. But obviously, like in order to put out a full-fledged book, I feel like you would have to be united at least on the fact that you know like what kind of atmosphere or like the main tropes that you're writing. So I know you're obviously on deadline and you've got certain books coming up that just released, but like what would you say are for you guys, what's your like holy grail tropes? Like what do you think that you two will like never get tired of writing together? What do you guys like really like bond over?
So that's kind of funny because we write a lot of age gaps and she hates them, but I love them. And she also likes writing younger heroines. Well, where like I typically hate that. Like I don't ever want to do like high school romance again. But with age gaps, it gives her what she likes and it gives me what I like. And so it's the perfect little balance that we figured out. So I don't think we'll ever stop doing that personally.
I just pretend like the guy's younger than he is in my head when I write. I so my issue with age gaps is just that me and my husband are only 9 months apart, so I can't relate to it. I can't relate to dating somebody so many years older, and so for me, it's not even that I hate writing it. It's just I can't relate to it. So in my head, they're like only like 2 or 3 years apart.
And we don't even do large age gaps. Like 10 years or anything. I think the biggest one we have is like 8 or 9. So it's not that bad.
It's still in the single digits.
Yeah.
But
Good.
it also like we write a lot of MC and a lot of mafia, and those age gaps is a common theme in both of those genres. So I think that's why it works out for us. But we do also write a variety of other stuff to keep us from getting bored. So like we write hockey, we write football, we have a rom-com. Like so when we get bored or feel like we're getting stagnant in that one genre, so say mafia, when we wrote nothing but mafia, we just started adding in other genres so that we would have a little break up there. We wouldn't get tired or burn out.
Going back a little bit to like y'all's writing process, I heard a rumor, one of you, and correct me if I'm wrong, one of you finished writing your half of a book that y'all were doing in 8 days. Can you confirm
Or
or deny that? Four?
or I
So
can write
yeah,
I
you
can
can say
write
it.
4 chapters a day. So our books are about 32 chapters. So 16 chapters. I can write 4 chapters a day if I'm motivated. I can write my 4 chapters before noon. So and we do 2,000 words per chapter. So what 2,000 times 4? So that's like 8,000 words, right? No, am I?
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't know how
Yeah.
to count.
Yeah, no, we can easily finish a book in 7 business days. And most of the time it takes us a week if we are both dedicated and writing more than 2 chapters a piece in a day.
That is a
But we
feat.
have to be motivated.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so if you're on lock, like if you're locked in and you are writing, if you're able to finish those chapters by noon, what does that writing atmosphere look like for you? Does that look like um, complete isolation, white noise? Do you have a playlist? Like, what is that writing layout for each of you?
So I don't have a job, and I don't have kids. I have dogs. That's it. I have my little puppies. So for me, it's helped getting the headphones. I just got these actually back in, I think, like September. So that's been a game changer for me, because they're noise canceling. So like I'll put music on in them. I can kind of ignore the music unless it's a song I really like, then it distracts me. But for the most part, I can ignore the music, and then I can ignore the dogs too. So like when they're barking and stuff, I'm not hearing them. And then I can just focus in. I write best if I wake up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. By the time noon hits is when it starts to go away. I start to not be doing so well. So that's for me. And like I said, because I'm home alone, my husband and my mother-in-law live here, but they both work. And mom gets home at 4, husband gets home at 6. So like I don't have any other distractions here. And I live on a 15-acre farm, so it's not like I'm in a city and there's anything outside that's going to distract me. So
That's true. Okay. That's pretty awesome. I don't feel like I meet a lot of morning authors. I feel like I get a lot of night owls. So that's really interesting that by noon you kind of taper off. That's really interesting. Okay, what about you? What's your kind of setup?
So for me, it's similar. I actually homeschool my kids. So typically in the afternoons, things become more chaotic when they're doing school and stuff in case they have questions. And where they are older, like I let them sleep in the mornings, and like that's the time that I take to write. I used to be a lot earlier when my husband was going to his job every morning super early, but now I'm more like 9, 10 o'clock. And so mine's shifting to where I run out of steam about 2. And then I'm like, okay, I have to email this person and I have to do all these little tasks that are outside of writing, but still job related. And then it's either that or I'll get the urge to write it in the evening when everyone else is doing something.
and I'll say that I do that too. Like last night I wrote a whole chapter between like 8:30 and 10 last night just because I don't know why I was just feeling motivated. So, and I will say that right now like from like mid-October until like mid-January is what we call our seasonal depression. It's when we have a really hard time writing. So that's probably also why we're struggling. But you catch us in June and like we're on task, we're flying through it.
Yeah, no, I definitely get you on the seasonal depression part. I don't know if it's just because like the weather's dreary, nature's really barren. I mean, depending on what the weather is like where each of you are, but in Texas, like everything is just blech,
It's
gross.
gray.
It's
Yes,
been raining nonstop for like a week and a half, which I'm grateful for because our pond had like dried up over the summer. So like we were needing water, but I'm like, oh, it makes me want to stay in bed.
I know. It's like perpetually the hoa 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 season. Like Twilight is triple platinum in my house.
Yes.
Okay, that's so cool. I want to start shifting a little bit more towards like your specific books. So I want to talk first about Bullet because it just came out. First of all, congratulations, you guys. Um,
Thank you.
Thank you.
it is book five in your series. Did you always know that it was going to be a lengthy series? Is this the end? Is there more coming? Tell our listeners a little bit about this environment of the Lotus MC series.
There's definitely more coming. And we do have a spin-off from that already. So we have the Lotus MC, that one set in Vegas. We have the Lotus MC San Antonio that's already spun off. Um, we started this series because we got invited to a signing that was for Mafia and MC authors only. And we wrote Mafia, but we were like, well, maybe we should get an MC book. She has never seen Sons of Anarchy, but I'm a huge Sons of Anarchy fan, so I was like, we got this, we can do this. So that's kind of what started it. I'll let her tell you more about what's to come.
So there's at least three more books in this series. Um, and very early on in the first book, we actually knew Bullet was going to get a story. It was just making him and his heroine old enough to make it possible because, you don't want to upset anybody with a girl's young age and being under 18. So we had to wait for her to grow up. And so we had to pick very wisely. And I think, well, instantly with Reaper, like I loved the world. I loved everything about it. She did too. We've been to Vegas multiple times, so that was easy. And then like with each character, we just get deeper and deeper. And I think I fall more in love with the motorcycle romance more than I have with the mafia, which is really strange to me because I really liked that. But it's the same, just they're not as polished in
Yeah,
MC. And so that's why we've kept adding new chapters and new clubs to our roster.
that's so
Yeah,
awesome.
so we do. We have the Vegas, we have the San Antonio. We do eventually plan to spin off again. We just haven't actually sat down and figured out what that looks like. But we also have our Saints Outlaws MC series, which is a part of a shared world that we created with another author, Brooke Summers, and we feature our Lotus people in that series as well. So everything's interconnected. That's a fun fact about Cala Riley is that we, even our non-MC Mafia books, there's going to be a mention of something else. Like you can just imagine they're all living in the same world. Like the mafia is out there. We know the mafia is out there, but we don't know anything specific about it. So we operate on the same thing with our books. So our hockey series, they know there's mafia somewhere, but they don't know anything about it. So our worlds are all connected. You'll see Easter eggs in every book that we write.
I
Yeah.
love Easter eggs. They're so fun. I love little crossover type episodes in books. So I think that's something that our listeners are gonna like absolutely eat up. As far as you guys in the like author experience wise, how would you say that this series has evolved for you guys from book one all the way to now book five?
Going into it, I would say we were clueless about MC and how readers would react. And it was a very pleasant surprise. Reaper did very well out the gate, and each book has continued and it picks up more and more. We didn't necessarily expect the growth that happened because of Reaper. I
We
don't know
mean
if
this
you
in the
agree.
politest, kindest way. Motorcycle readers are feral.
Yes.
They literally go feral over it, and I love it. I'm here for it. I mean, because I love reading them too, but I didn't realize how many, like, literally, they will devour anything. So, uh, we were welcomed with open arms into this world of readers.
And I'll even say when you meet them, like the difference between Mafia and MC readers is a big difference. Like Mafia people, when they come to your table, they're a little bit more like reserved, like, oh, I've read this entire series. I loved it. Where MC people are like, give me it now. Like, I need it all for my shelf.
They'll
I've read them
literally pick it
all.
up. They'll be
And
like,
they'll
"Oh,
pet
he's so
it.
pretty."
Like, it's just, it's great. Like, I absolutely love it. And it makes me smile because they are, they are great readers. All of them are great. But there's just something about MC readers that like makes you giggle like a little schoolgirl, and you're like, "Ha, I did something great."
Yeah. I know I have a friend who absolutely loves Sons of Anarchy, and she's read mafia romances and she likes them, but I'm starting to get the impression just based on her energy, like, oh, she would probably be a die-hard MC reader. So it's interesting to like hear about like the different kind of energy between those two readers. Like they're equally, enthusiastic and supporting, but they just like display it in different ways.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I just think that's so funny. So tell our listeners a little bit about this book, and then if you want, I'd love to hear like how you guys formed the dynamic between Harley and Bullet, because like you were saying earlier, like this was kind of like a highly anticipated one for you. You were just having to wait for the girl to grow up a little bit before you could tackle it. So tell us a little bit about it.
Our readers were also like, "Bullet better get his book. Don't you hurt him."
Well, in the first book, he does get hurt. So they were worried. Okay, take you back.
That's how he gets his name, Bullet,
Yeah.
because he takes a bullet. So
But to take you further back in our mafia, in the very early days, we were known for taking out characters that people really liked. So when we started the MC and we hurt Bullet the first time, they were like, "We love this guy. They're gonna kill him." And they were like, "Don't, please don't, please don't."
put him in a bubble. So when we were decided to write his book, we knew that he was gonna have to have like his own little story as to why he joined the MC. Now, most of our MC people, they don't have family. They're looking for a brotherhood within the MC, which is why they're joining. But Bullet's different in that sense because he actually has a family, but he never felt like he quite fit in with his family. And so like that's his reasoning for having joined. So while she was 16 when they met, I believe, she had a crush on him, but he didn't even notice her because he was more focused on, I need to build this brotherhood. I need to get in here with them. And so that's kind of how we manage that because sometimes there's a line there. You don't want them to be too flirtatious or anything when he's over 18 and she's 16, because I think he was like 19.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
19.
yeah, he was 19, she was 16. So like there's a line there you don't want to cross. So that's kind of how we manage that to where like she was around, they knew each other, but it wasn't until she was 18 that something tragic happens. That's what starts the book. And that kind of opens his eyes to her in who she is and all of that.
She tried to make herself known, and like he kind of considered her a friend to begin with before the tragic thing happens. And she was like the fly that you couldn't get rid of. You couldn't bat it away. And she was like, I'm going to make this man notice me. Like, he is mine. And then obviously something happens, and she kind of goes a little off the rails, to put it nicely. And he's the one to steer her back. And he does it in
It,
a nice way. Like, he does it without ulterior motives. He's not trying to convince her to date him or anything like that. He does it because he genuinely cares. She wakes up again, I guess you could say.
yeah, because she definitely goes numb and emotionally distances herself because of the tragedy that she goes through. And that's another thing. Like we highlight grief in a lot of our books because we've both lost our mothers. I've also lost my father, so we've had to deal with it a lot. And so we wanted to highlight a different version, a different look of grief in this one because that's what she's going through from her tragedy is that grief. And so her particular brand of grief is she goes numb and she distances herself, which flips a switch in him because he's like, this isn't her. How do I get her back to who she was? Which, of course, she'll never 100% be that person, but he helps her find herself again.
That actually like covers one of the questions I was going to ask because something I really love about your books is like these realistic portrayals of grief and also like the hurt comfort trope. I feel like hurt comfort is like the perfect gateway into like bigger, broader discussions about grief and stories because it's not just like external conflicts that are like working against the characters, it's also the internal ones. So I really love that it has like a personal tie back to you guys. I'm also sorry for your losses. Like that's
Thank
really
you.
tough.
Thank you.
No matter
No,
what age you are, like it's so difficult to lose a parent and lose a loved one. So I really love that it becomes something beautiful that you can give back to your readers when they
I
read your
I
book.
will say little Easter egg. The one that we're writing right now, the one we're on deadline for, is actually one that she's kind of let me go off the rails a little bit because it's like very closely tied to everything that happened with my father. So
Mm.
that one, when people read it, it's definitely got a really, really close, closer than any other book I think we've written, uh, tied to the grief that I went through and like what we had to go through with him. So
Yeah.
yeah, we try to take things that have happened to us personally and add them into books for the emotional touch, but with also trying to put distance so it's not too similar. So that way, people can't come back and be like, "Oh, you wrote about XYZ." No, we just wrote something similar.
Mhm.
That's why we have a lot of dead moms because we know what that's like, okay? It's
that
not
seems a little brash, but that's how me and her handle our grief with that. So
Transitioning from Bullet into the book that's coming out next, which is Wolf Songbird. So it releases on January 6th. A great way to kick off 2026. For our listeners who may not know, is this a continuation of book one or is this interconnected standalones design
interconnected
wise?
standalones, definitely. Most of our books are going to be like that. So there's only like three series I think that actually you have to read in order. But these are interconnected standalones. Book one, Panthers Magpie, definitely kicks it off. So if you want to see what our character went through for book two, you get her brother and her best friend side of it in book one. And then so this book starts off immediately after book one ends and jumps into hers and her hero's story. Riley, you want to add?
Yeah, no, so I'm gonna kind of backtrack here for a second. We have two releases in January. We have one trad and then one indie. Wolf
Wolf
Songbird
Songbird.
is our traditional published. That whole series was a surprise to us this year. Every year we have a book that we're like, hey, we want to do this randomly. Let's throw it in. We were in an airport in London, in fact, coming home from a signing when we decided to write this series. And right away, we knew what book one was going to be, and we knew what book two was going to be. And I think we were both, in a way, dreading book two because it has some very heavy topics, just what she experiences and what he also goes through with her. But I think we did it justice. I think it's gonna be well perceived.
Definitely. A little blurb about it, I guess, or a little snippet about it is that so in book one, our heroine from book two has been kidnapped, and so her best friend has to go to her brother, or it's technically her foster brother, but her brother to get help. He's the president of an MC, and so all of book one is them trying to get her back, and then their relationship with each other. They get her back at the end of book one, which starts book two. So and it's how she again talking about the grief, it's about how she's dealing with the aftermath of being kidnapped and what she had to go through and how the hero is going to help her through that hurt comfort, help her through that.
Love it. Um, that reminds me. So with you both doing indie and trad kind of simultaneously, what is the life of a hybrid author duo like?
Crazy.
I was gonna say
We
chaotic in a
take
good
on too
way.
much. We took on too much this year. We released, I think, 16 books for
Yeah.
2025, which is an astronomical number. So we always try to release 6 indie books a year, and then because that's what keeps our business going. So the books that we release through the year, that money we then turn around and put it right back in the business. We don't take a draw for our business for our own personal stuff. That's something that's unique about us. Is that every penny we earn, we immediately turn around and put it back in. So, for example, we're getting a German translation of Reaper. We're able to do that because we made enough money to be able to turn around and put it back into that. So we do 6 indie books a year, and then we got picked up by the traditional publisher last December for our ice hockey series, actually, which is a 5 book series. That's the last book in that series is what we're on deadline for. And then they also picked up our Billionaire series, which was a 4 book series, and they picked up our rom-com, which was already written. We didn't have to write that. It was just re-released. Between all that, that's what, five, six, seven, eight, nine. That was 9 books that they took. Then we went to them and said, "Hey, we were sitting at an airport in London and decided we want to write this MC book. Do you want it?" Because we already had three indie MC series. So we were like, "Do you want this one? Let's see what traditional publishing can do for us with MC." And they were like, "Yeah, absolutely." So they put us on deadline to write it, and the first book released in September. And then so like the chaos between that is like trying to remember like ours are a little more flexible because we're doing it ourselves. We're putting it up on Amazon ourselves. But as soon as they have a book up on Amazon, like they won't put it up on Amazon until we have it to them. So if we want it released at a certain time, we have to get it to them in plenty of time for them to get it up on Amazon and do what they need to do because they will not put it up on Amazon until they physically have it in their hands. So that's the difference between them really is just the flexibility that
Yeah.
and like they let us have input on our covers and stuff like that, but they get the overall like final decision. But at the same time, they also take all the overhead costs for it. We don't have to pay for any, like we don't pay for editing, we don't pay for the cover. If we want to hire a promo company, we can. But really, once it's in their hands, if we didn't want to, we wouldn't have to spend a dime on it.
That's so interesting. I was like, because obviously, like, I think some of our listeners, but also myself included, like, I'm definitely in like a slower part because I'm on traditional submission, but I've indie published, so I've seen both sides. And meanwhile, I get to talk to you guys, and it's like, yeah, we put out 16 books this year, and I'm like, how on God's green earth? That's so, so impressive. But thank you so much for sharing that like behind the curtain peek, because I know, especially like with trad publishing, sometimes people like gatekeep their experiences. So I think that'll be super insightful and cool to know for everybody who's listening or watching the podcast. Speaking of behind the curtain, I want to ask y'all a few questions about like just the beyond authoring life. I'd love for you to tell our listeners a little bit about just like yourselves, however you what like fun facts, like what are y'all star signs, like Enneagrams, like fun little ways that you categorize yourself. Tell us a little bit about you guys as people, not just as authors.
Well, I crochet. I've mentioned that before. I'm honestly very family motivated, so it's like like I said, my mother-in-law lives with us. She actually just recently moved up from Ocala, which is about a 6-hour drive, to live with us because we lived apart for so long. Me and my husband actually moved up to Pensacola from Ocala for his job, so we've been up here about 6, 7 years now. And she decided it was time to move up. So we bought a 15-acre farm. I have 32 ducks now. We've lost a couple. It's okay. We started with only 12, so we're up to 32 now. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much a homebody. I don't really like to leave the house unless I'm going somewhere fun, like getting on a plane fun. We go on cruises. We go on vacations. Oh, I'm a huge Formula One fan. Yay for Lando Norris. He just won the world championship. I'm actually a Max Verstappen fan, but I'm not upset that Lando won. As for you were talking about ways to distinguish ourselves or whatever, I'm a Sagittarius. I was born in December, so I'm definitely one of those Christmas babies that never really had their birthday separate from Christmas. Uh, my birthday is what, 5 days before Christmas, six days before Christmas. So growing up, that was fun. And then let's see, Hogwarts house. I'm a Gryffindor. Enneagrams, I am the giver, the helper. Definitely. I don't know what else. I watch a lot of reality TV as well, but I watch the competition shows. So I'm talking like the Holiday Baking Championship, Survivor. I recently binged all of Survivor with my mother-in-law. The Challenge, like the Traders. If it's a competition show, I will watch it without a doubt.
You forgot game shows, like
Oh,
actual game shows.
I know the Game Show Network schedule. That's how, like, I can hear, like, so I usually have the Game Show Network on for the dogs out in the living room. So when I'm working, based on what show's on, I can tell you what time it is.
Wow, without having to like look
That's
at a clock or anything.
that's how often I watch it. I
Like
did forget about that.
she loves game shows so much that whatever country or like wherever we are in the States, no matter where we are, she will find one of them on and I'll be like in bed next to her reading and she'll start hitting me and being like, "Hey, hey, I need you pick A, B, or C." And I'll just like pick a random one and then she'll be like, "Oh, I'm our PA and I picked whichever one her and I didn't pick." So that way one of us is winning.
I
Yeah.
just want to say, Sammy gets the answer right way more than we do. Yeah, so when we were in London, we watched The Chase a lot because they have a London version of The Chase and Tipping Point. But we actually recently went to Australia and they have their own version of The Chase. So like we were literally like I will find whatever game show is on in that country and we will watch it.
And she'll be like, "Put down your book, pay attention to me right now. We gotta figure this out. We gotta win." I am also a Gryffindor. My husband thinks though that things have changed and I might be a Slytherin, so do with that as you will. I am a Cancer sun and moon, so I am very interesting when it comes to that. Uh, yeah, I'm closed off, but I am also a very an emotional person. Like for example, I don't like reading reviews because a bad one, like it won't make me cry. I take offense to it. I'm like, "What are you talking about? Did you read what we wrote?" type of
On the
person.
flip side, I read them and I laugh at them.
Yeah.
So if
We're
that tells
very
you we
There's
complement each
two
other.
kinds of girls.
We're both of them.
Yeah. So I'll hyperfixate on that for a minute if I read reviews on Goodreads. So I stay away from there. I was gonna say you're the giver. I don't know what I am. I don't think I've ever done the test.
It's so fun.
Um,
I
I'll have to
love
do that.
Enneagrams. I feel like Enneagrams, yes, zodiac signs, but also like Enneagrams. When somebody tells me, oh, I'm an Enneagram 7, I'm like, I feel like I know everything about you immediately. Whereas zodiacs, it's like, okay, you're a Pisces, but like, are you this kind of Pisces? Or are you that kind of Pisces? So, I
Yeah,
encourage you to take the test. It's really fun. And I feel like it's oftentimes very spot on.
I'll have to do it. No, like she said, I like doing puzzles. I read a lot still. I don't read what we write though very often. Like I don't read MC anymore. I haven't really read Mafia since we started. Now with like the contemporary stuff and like hockey and everything, like I'll still read those from time to time, but not while we're actively working on it. Just because I don't want there to be any stealing of ideas,
Yeah.
essentially. Um, and then I also do 3D archery with my husband because we are one of those annoying couples that likes to do everything together. So his hobbies are mine and vice versa.
3D archery. Is there a
Yeah.
difference between like 2D archery? Like,
Honestly, they're just animal-like targets that are foam
oh,
instead of just like the boring square ones, and they set them up differently. So it's more like hunting, but you're hunting styrofoam, if that makes
okay.
sense.
Okay, that makes sense. I don't know. I was just like 3D versus 2D. I was really confused, but that actually makes a lot of sense. Do they
Yeah.
like make the targets like move too, or is it just
They
solid?
can, yeah. So some
Oh,
places will put them on like moving things. Some of them they don't move at all, but like you're in different situations. So sometimes you're shooting uphill, downhill, you're standing at angles, you are like they have markers in the ground on where you're supposed to stand. So sometimes you're gonna have to like stand in one spot, but like lean around a tree and stuff like that to try and get the shot. It's a whole workout.
That sounds really fun though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my husband's retirement plan. Like he wants there's a company that does shoots all over the states all summer long and he was like we should hit several of them because they'd be really fun. And at these ones they have like three or four different ranges of 20 targets each. So you could just hop around them all day and I'm like that sounds like a lot. I'll do it, but that sounds like a lot.
Yeah. That's no, this is so cool. I would have never thought that you would be interested in 3D archery and also mad respect to a game show lover like calls to like in this instance. I especially listen, do I love Jeopardy? Yes. I love Celebrity Jeopardy though, because I feel like the questions are a little dumbed down. So I feel like
They
I
are.
superior when I like play along with Celebrity
Kids
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy when they do the team tournament.
Yes. Okay, you guys, this has been so fun. It's been so fun getting to know more about you guys, more about all of the books that you've put out. I mean, this year alone, but also the ones that are coming up. Congratulations on all of your success. It is absolutely astounding. Um, Tell our listeners to kind of close out the episode. Where can they find you guys, your socials? Where can they find your books? All of that good stuff.
Most of our
Okay.
books are in Kindle Unlimited.
Yep.
There's only, I think, 3 books that aren't, which I will let her tell you. CalaRiley.com, we have our website. We do have all of our, it's laid out to where you can look at each book individually, and then each one has a trigger list button. So if you have triggers, you click that, it'll take you to our trigger list page. Or if you just go to the top, you can look up our trigger list page, which will list every book with their trigger list, to protect each one of you girls or boys that that wants has triggers. Um, what else, John Riley?
Our Instagram is author.cala.riley. And on there in our bio, we have our link tree that can also take you to all of our other social medias, like our author group on Facebook or just our author page. And we have all of our pre-orders for signings and our ARC signups and everything listed in there as well.
Yes,
Awesome.
and we have our reader group's called the Cala Riley Boudoir of Sin, which is on Facebook. So definitely you can join there. And we do also have a newsletter. We send out at least one newsletter a week, and we try to always include a freebie, whether it be ours or another author's as well. So if you like free books, sign up.
You guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. And to all of you who have been watching or listening, thank you guys for tuning into today's episode. My big thanks to Calla and Riley. This has been so much fun. I have plenty of other author guests coming in the future, so stay tuned, you guys. And until next time, I will see you in the next one.